One of the biggest downsides of social media has been the increasing lack of boundaries on the internet for the sake of clout. People will admit shit that they've done on the internet that you wouldn't be able to torture out of me with waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay. I believe that some of the biggest victims of this lack of boundaries that we're emboldening lately has been children. At least when adults post shit talking about horrendous activities that they've engaged in, they've at least done so with their own autonomy. I'd at least hope so. That was their choice to do that, even though they really should not have chosen to do that. Kids, however, are being plastered across the internet by their parents, whether their parents are influencers or, just a local suburban housewife that wants to beat all the other housewives in a game of life. This is not a new concept. I just think it's gotten worse. Family vlog channels have been a thing on YouTube since YouTube's conception. So I am simply not surprised that this is still a thing, but it has gotten so much worse. And we can't even just blame millennials for this either. I know for a fucking fact that Gen X parents did this to their children being Gen Z, when Facebook became a thing. They would just plaster their children all over Facebook publicly. And Gen Z adults that have decided to have children quite young are doing the exact same fucking thing. So essentially we can't blame one generation for this either. We all fucking suck. The summary and very crux of the issue is that parents are posting their children publicly on social media without their permission, and in some cases to gain clout, notoriety, and money. And my gripe is not just with your local influencer. My gripe is also with parents that post their children on non-private social media accounts as well. Before you take a photo of somebody, you need permission to do so. Before you post that photo, whether that be on a private social media account, or especially if it is a public social media account, you need permission to do so. And yes, that includes children. I am straight up against posting your children publicly. You're not going to change my mind about that. And if you're posting your child on a private Facebook or Instagram account or something of the like, you need to ask them before you do so. There seems to be this thought process where adults, specifically parents, think that they could just do whatever they want with their kids without permission or respect, because they don't see their kids as real human beings, but rather private property. And it doesn't help that the law also sees children that way as well, which I'm also against, but that is an entirely different video. No, you can't just do whatever you want with your child without asking for their permission. They're not a toy. That's a human being. And before you say, my child can't make that decision because it's a child and also I know what's best for them, have you considered that no, you don't? Aside from publicly posting your children without their permission, which is mostly what Gen X's sin was when I was a child, was publicly plastering their children's photos all over Facebook for anyone to see, which I think is irresponsible and fucking stupid. Aside from that, people have taken this a step further for a very long time, whether that be family vloggers, mommy bloggers, or, those gentle parenting TikTokers. They have essentially monetized their children. And the effects of this are detrimental.
Usually I make silly skits, and sometimes I use those skits to talk about issues that I think are important. And one of those issues is the protection and safety of kids on the internet, particularly kids that are being used in monetized channels. A teen that has had their entire childhood monetized reached out to me, and they told me to keep doing what I'm doing, and they shared their story with me. What I'm about to share with you is an anonymous letter from a teen that has gone through all of the things that I've tried to bring awareness to and more. They are not in a position where it is currently safe to share their story publicly, but if you trust me, you will trust that I have verified that this is 100% real. Here we go. To any parents that are considering starting a family vlog or monetizing your children's lives on the public internet, here is my advice. You shouldn't do it. Any money you get will be greatly overshadowed by years of suffering and very hard work for you and your child to keep up with trends and media, and if you do manage to do it, your child will never be normal. You will be their boss and they will be your employee, which is a horrible relationship to have with your kid. It'll be hard for them to go out in public without getting noticed. You'll constantly be harassed by brands online and networks, and worst of all, your children will be sent inappropriate messages and videos. If they have over 100K subscribers, there will be some sick guy or girl out there who puts weird comments there. I know because it happens to me all the time. My parents show me these messages, some of them, but most of the time I find them on my own and I have to sigh, screenshot them, report them, and turn off my phone. Because I'm in too deep, there's no going back now, and I never consented to being online. I wouldn't have been able to anyway. I was 2 or 3 when I went viral for the first time, and now there's things I just can't do. There are several things about me and my identity that the world isn't allowed to know because I don't choose what content my parents post. The channel isn't mine. Again, they're the boss and I'm the employee. I never signed a contract, but for some reason, through some stupid legal loopholes, this is legal and I can't escape. No, I've never been hit, but my childhood came with its own trauma. I've been an employee since I was 5. And I hate it. So don't do it. If you don't regret it, then your kids will.
There are consequences to using your child for clout and publicly posting them all over a popular social media website. Even if you have the best intentions, there are unintended consequences to your actions.
Hey, I saw your mom's video on TikTok. Oh, what video? The one where you broke your mom's iPad? She got so mad at you that she had to calm her body down before she talked to you? Oh. Why does your mom post videos of you like that? She says it's important to teach other parents how to be gentle parents. Oh, well, everybody's calling you iPad baby. I just thought you should know. Thanks.
Children do not deserve to be used for money and clout by their parents, and subsequently have all the nitty-gritty details of their childhood plastered across TikTok for all of these strange adults to see. Children that are used as influencers by their parents not only no longer have a childhood, but they also don't have personal lives anymore either. And the worst part is they didn't even get to choose that. Their parents did. And they also get all of the consequences of internet parasocial relationships as well. These kids are being treated as employees by their parents, and now all of these strange adults think that they have a say in these children's personal lives and think that they're somehow buddy-buddy with this child that has never met them before. It's fucking weird having a parasocial relationship with a child that's not yours, that's just randomly on the internet. Have you considered not being a fucking weirdo? Not to mention, these abusive parents will be enabled and emboldened to get even more abusive for the sake of clout. Like using creative punishments on their kids when their kids don't act as, they so desired. For instance, doing things like completely destroying their child's room because the child was a little bit upset about having to clean the room. Or even worse, publicly humiliating a child by making them wear something humiliating because they wouldn't wear the original outfit you wanted them to wear. And it does get worse. These punishments don't end at shit like that. And they are using these punishments to film them, upload them to TikTok, YouTube, tweet about it. And they are using their kids' humiliation to get clout and money from other abusive parents that think that that was a good fucking idea. So public humiliation in these circles is basically encouraged. And all of this is to children as well. Shouldn't be happening to adults, but even worse, this is encouraged against children on the internet. So from the, suburban housewife just posting on Facebook publicly to the, 10 million follower internet family vloggers, none of them care that they're putting their children in danger by, not listening to their child and posting them publicly. I know you don't have a VPN as a Gen X housewife. You're going to get publicly doxxed, and then you're going to, have your child be in danger because, you decided that you wanted to publicly post a child on a website for a bunch of strange adults to see, and without their permission at that, because you think a child is a toy and a private possession. All in all, everyone from the suburban housewife to the million follower family vloggers need to start respecting children as human beings and not toys or possessions. Children are some of the most disrespected groups of people in the entire world, and the way you guys act like parents can do whatever they want with children because they're the legal guardian is literally proof of that. You are just furthering the idea that a child is just the possession of the legal guardian rather than a real human being. Like you would an adult, you need to ask a child before taking a photo of them. Like you would an adult, you need to ask a child before you upload a video or a photo to a private social media account. Like you would for an adult, you need to not air out your child's private life on social media for a bunch of strangers to see. Your private life is yours, and you have the right to do whatever you want with it, whether that be plastering it all over TikTok for people to judge you for clout, but that child has a right to say no to you. And I did not even get into how parents of disabled children specifically use their child's disability as well to gain clout, which I find even more nauseating. It's like a different level of nauseating when I see parents using their child's disability for TikTok clout. Keep your fucking child off the internet.